As Keeney delivers and we're underway. First pitch of ball, 1-0 the count.
And Keeney, while this is her first year for the Sooners, she's somebody that's been on the map for years. The transfer from Liberty, she ranked 5th nationally last season in wins. She had 27.
Of course, it led Liberty to a regional final last year in Los Angeles. He's come over here to Oklahoma, part of this 6-pitcher deep staff of the Sooners that Patty Gasso has been talking about developing the depth. And that ball's lined to second, but the catch is made for the first out of the ball game.
And the timing on this catch is everything. The second baseman just perfectly knowing when to go up and get that ball.
That was Torres, the second baseman, making the play, getting the start at second base. There's Patty Gasso. Her 30th season. A swing and a miss by Ty Wilson. Seattle's best player. Had a breakout season last year. Will certainly be in the mix for WAC Player of the Year this year once that gets going.
She came out named preseason all WAC. And she's really just such a triple threat. You'll see her read the defense, and she's a player that can bunt, slap, and hit for power.
Interesting to see the mindset for Seattle. What an opportunity to play the #1 ranked team in the country. I would imagine, Cindy, those players got to be fired up.
You have to be. And I love that you use the word opportunity, because you have to look at this as a blessing. Because no one is expecting you to do anything. And as a player, there's nothing more freeing than that.
Well, if you're Seattle, you got nothing to lose, everything to gain.
And that's pretty much every team that's facing Oklahoma, which is why Oklahoma, they're just so poised in how they handle this target on their back.
Good at bat here by Wilson's. Work the count. There's Patty Gasso. To her right, Jen Rocha, the pitching coach for Oklahoma, who was the NCAA Assistant Coach of the Year last year.
And what the two of them have built together since her arrival, especially with all the work that Coach Rocha has done with this pitching staff, coming back to her alma mater. You can see there, Kinney doing what she does best, locating it on that curveball.
So 2 gone. Now Morris, the freshman. Part of a twins on this team, Mikey Morris. Her twin sister Avery Morris is a pitcher on the team. Getting the strike. Of course, Mikey Morris has a famous sister, Cindy Supley, by the name of Aubrey Monroe, a former Florida Gator, an Olympian. Participated in the Tokyo Olympics. She hits a comebacker to Keeney, who will throw to first. And a quick 1-2-3 inning for Keeney and the Sooners here in the first. The 3-time defending national champs coming to hit when we return. Run, a single and a double, 4 RBIs in the victory over the Aztecs. First pitch, it's a bunt attempt. Quick throw to first in time. Nice job defensively. Stephanie Madrigal fielding her own position to get the out.
Coleman looking to change it up. Not a hitter that's known for bunting, especially to start off the game. But Seattle not caught sleeping.
Stephanie Madrigal getting the ball, the co-pitcher of the year in the WAC. gets the ball here for the Red Hawks. She's facing Riley Boone. Hitting .393 on the season. Pitch is outside for a ball. But there's Madrigal, who really has been the workhorse for Seattle last year. And talking to Coach Harai, they feel they have a deeper staff this year where she doesn't have to carry them. Of course, they lost a lot of personnel offensively. This is a program that's been to the NCAA tournament a couple of times since Jeff Harai's arrival in 2016. They've won the WAC title in 2019 and 2021. 8 new faces on this team as Boone takes a strike there at 3-1. But they're hoping with this deep pitching staff they can challenge Grand Canyon in the WAC. .3-1, that's high, ball 4, and a walk to Riley Boone.
You can see a little bit of confusion on Madrigal's face. She felt like that was exactly where she located the one before. But it's so important, as you mentioned, that the Seattle team is starting to build a staff. Because she had 36 appearances last season, almost 3/4 of the game. That's a lot of innings on an arm. And you want her to be fresh at the end of the season.
First, we're here at Wrigley Field at the Big Leagues Dream Sports Complex at Cathedral City, California. Here at the 2024 Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic, Eric Lopez alongside former 3-pit 10-time champion and World Series participant Cindy Supley, who knows a thing or two about facing Oklahoma. How many times do you face Oklahoma throughout your career?
Oh, man, 3 times. First time we went down to Norman, which is a crazy atmosphere to play in, and the way they sell out every single game. People in Oklahoma just love softball, and how can you blame them when you have a team like this squad right here? And then the other time was in the World Series, and then most recently last season at the USA Hall of Fame Stadium. So very familiar with this team. And we were talking about it a little earlier. They're so competitive, and I don't want to talk over that big strikeout right there by Madrigal, taking Burrito on that rise ball inside. That ball just spins, a big hack by Burrito. Got a little greedy on that pitch.
Tiari Jennings swings to the first pitch, grounds to third, a throw to first in time, and Madrigal works a scoreless first. We're through 1, no score. First pitch there's ball. Sin here to lead it off, followed by Fitch and Simpson, 4-5-6 against Carly Keeney. The sophomore from Oregon takes a strike, and it's 1-1. Davis Sin, 295 average. That's a ground ball to second. Torres is there, throw to first in time to retire Sin, 4-3 on the ground out. 1 gone here in the top of the second. So 1 out here in the top of the second inning.
Yeah, if you're Seattle, you want to make sure you're set when you're in that box. Sin, that rollover was really created because she rushed herself in that sequence in her swing.
Taylor Fitch, the sophomore who transferred from Loyola Marymount, at the plate. This is something that the Seattle staff expect Taylor Fitch to help in some of the power that they lost from graduation last year. Seattle was a top 10 offense last year in college softball. The 1-0 from Keeney. Fitch fouls it off.
In talking to head coach Kiri about having the 10th best average in all of Division One, he said it really came from them knowing their plan. They work really hard in their scouting, and then they trust it when they're up at the plate. If they make a team decision that they're going to attack a pitcher this way, it's a buy-in 1 through 9 in their lineup.
Pitch is low. Of course, Jeff Arai's been there since 2016, a former assistant at Washington from 2006 to 2008. He was an assistant at Virginia as well as Oregon State. They've won 30 games or more the last 5 seasons.
Yeah, he's really taken Seattle to a new level, helped them reach their first ever Division I NCAA tournament in 2019. And then in 2021, they grabbed their first win in the tournament. So he has just developed this program to be someone who's recognized on a national level.
And Fitch hits a ball to deep right center. That's a base hit. She's rounding first, going for 2. The throw to second is in time. She's out. What a throw by the Sooners defense. Jada Coleman involved there, and the tag was made for the out.
Right there, a strong piece of hitting. But Oklahoma, they are just so far in. It goes over the head of Coleman, not expecting that, but able to make the throw in time. And Jennings with the tag.
Perfect throw by Jada Coleman. Jennings making the tag. A little over aggressive there by Fitch, but when you're a big underdog like Seattle, you got to be aggressive and take your chances. That ball's fouled off.
You do, but that's why Oklahoma is so good, because they can make one mistake and then correct it with a perfect throw and tag by Jennings. Watch how she is able to just understand she needs to put that tag on her foot.
It's worth reminding everybody, no instant replay this week. Here's his twig and a miss, and Kinney gets out of the inning. We head to the bottom of the second, still scoreless. Madrigal back to work here at the bottom of the second. Facing Ludlam. Takes a pitch there. Associate head coach JT Gasso was super impressed with Riley Ludlam coming in the fall. Has had so much success at her prior spot, but yet told Coach JT Gassos, hey, I want to start over. I want to learn everything that you know and make me a better player. She's been a big factor in this offense.
Yeah, you have to love when a player is just so hungry to learn more.
And she's hungry for this one, deep to left, that's gone. Solo home run for Riley Ludlam. And the Sooners get on the board and take a 1-0 lead on the solo homer by Ludlam.
A beautiful piece of hitting by Ludman, going down and getting that off-speed pitch, sending it to deep left field. Kept all of her weight in the back leg. It's applied so much power, and nothing but smiles from Gasso and Ludman to get their team going.
Clearly Ludlam and the Sooners saw that home run board there that we just showed, and you're like, let's add to our totals.
They want to be on it. And that's what makes this Oklahoma lineup so deadly. And even in facing them as a pitcher myself, you know 1 through 9 and a handful of hitters on their bench are all capable of sending a long ball whenever they barrel it up.
Here's the freshman, Ella Parker, freshman out of Los Angeles, California. Part of this touted freshman class from the Sooners. Of course, this Oklahoma offense run by JT Gasso, who was promoted to associate head coach prior to the start of the season. 2-0 pitch is missed, and the highest form of complimentary is when I talk to JT on the podcast that I host. I asked him, I just assumed you were already an associate head coach.
Having the last name helped, you thought?
Well, no, it's the performance with the offense that he runs. They have been putting up just incredible video game numbers since he has taken over this offense. Maybe regarded as the best offensive coach right now. Grounded to first. And a quick out there.
Your podcast in the circle not only has Coach Gasso, but so many other coaches throughout all the Power Five. You'll take another look at effective pitching, but even more, the snag from first base was Fitch.
First pitch fouled off by Cassidy Pickering, the freshman out of Humboldt, Texas. They're excited about. Pickering made her debut with a home run in Puerto Vallarta in her first at-bat. Stepping in. The 0-1 pitch outside. You mentioned, Sydney, me talking to JT Gasso. I've had head coach Patty Gasso. I've had JT Gasso and his brother DJ Gasso, who's now the assistant coach at Arkansas in his first year. I've had all three Gassos on the podcast. Not together, though, at the same time.
Yeah, that's amazing. And actually on my podcast, I've been able to not have coaches, but players, and Jada Coleman being one of them on the Sooners lineup. And it's been so neat to just really learn about the culture and the atmosphere that they have at Oklahoma. They're all so close, but it's so faith-driven as well, led by head coach Patty Gasso. And this team is just playing for such a bigger meaning and a bigger purpose, which allows them to go out there and know that their value is worth so much more than their sport. And I think that's why you see so much success in what they attribute it to.
Count is full, 3-2. And that's outside and a ball forward, a walk to Pickering. Pickering gets on the walk. That'll bring up Sydney Sanders, who's hitting it in the 9 spot today. Sanders in her second year at Oklahoma after coming over from Arizona State. There's a lot of power. A lot of teams would love to have a player like Sydney Sanders hitting in that 9 spot, Sydney.
You would, especially Sanders in her first season with ASU. She was hitting 3-4 for them. An interesting shakeup in the lineup. Normally you have Boone holding it down in that 9 spot. She's so talented in being able to turn over the lineup, and she's getting an opportunity to be in the 2 spot today.
There's a strike. It's 2-1 the count. Madrigal facing Sanders with 1-on-1 out here in the second inning. Ludlam with the solo homer in the inning, giving Oklahoma the lead. Pickering at first on a walk. Sanders gets a pop-up. Morris coming over from short to make the catch to retire Sanders for the second out of the inning. Good pitch by Madrigal to get out of the inning, to get out of that jam situation with Sanders.
This Oklahoma lineup loves swinging at those high rise balls. They know the power that they have. But Madrigal putting it so tight inside that it's working in her favor with the pop-ups.
Here's Torres getting the start at second base today. Of course, Oklahoma's one of the interesting big decisions they had to make was who would replace Grace Lyons at shortstop. They've moved Tiari Jennings to the shortstop position, and that's created opportunities at second base. We've seen Avery Hodge get a lot of playing time at second base. We've seen Torres at second base. They've played a lot of different options at second. There's a pop-up and a diving catch. What an over-the-shoulder catch to end the inning. Tremendous defensive play But Riley Ludlam with pitch, and look who gets the lead off. You got Garcia here to lead it off. We're the top of the third inning. Oklahoma with a 1-0 lead. As Carly Keeney delivers. That ball is hit to right, but the catch is made for the first out of the inning. You hear the Boone chants there from Oklahoma fans. They're not booing, it's the Boone chant.
Now, she has a lot of fans at this tournament, a face that has really been a staple piece for Oklahoma in winning their last 3 national championships.
Katie Walling swings and fouls it off, the redshirt sophomore out of San Diego, California.
I tell you, this Seattle team, they're putting the ball in play. They're getting their barrel on the ball. You're seeing a lot of foul balls, rollovers, but all of that should just feed them with confidence for their second time through to start adjusting because they're seeing it well.
The 0-1, Walling hits it to left and drops in for a hit over Jennings' head. And a 1-out single for Katie Walling.
Able to stay through it just enough. And that one just finds no man's land behind Jennings.
So we go back to the top of the, he got Spatafora, the number 9 hitter. Karen Spatafora, the freshman out of Oregon, getting a chance to hit. The catcher swings and fouls it off.
We talked a little bit earlier about how young this Seattle team is. You see a first-year starter there, and then the Morris twins, one holding it down at shortstop, another that's been pitching a lot for them this weekend. So this Seattle team's only going to get better throughout this season as these first-year players get more experiences. But what an opportunity for them here.
Strike 3 looking frozen as Carly Keeney gets the strikeout to get the out.
Perfectly painted pitch on the outside corner.
Now back to the top of the order. Sydney Freckenberger, 0 for 1. Off to a great start in that leadoff spot, hitting .327 on the season. At the ball. Of course, Sydney, one of the big rule changes this year, there's a 20-second pitch clock. Pitcher's got to throw a pitch in 20 seconds. Not needed here with Carly Keeney or Madrigal. Both teams like to go fast.
And since there isn't a clock at this tournament, you've actually heard the umpire behind home plate reminding the pitcher and the hitter that they are on this running clock. And once you get into more conference play, you'll start to see a lot of stadiums have an actual clock behind the catcher so that everyone is aware of the 20-second countdown. And really, the reason why it's happening is so that softball can speed up their games and have more opportunities to be on TV. And I just love the response by college coaches throughout the country to be all on board, anything really to help grow the game and have more eyes.
Two is missed low. It's ball 3. 3-2 the count. Keeney delivers fouled off. Do you like the rule change there going to 20 seconds? Do you think it's a big adjustment for pitchers?
I always tended to work more quickly. We've seen a few catchers take hard foul tips like that. But I liked working at a quicker pace. I felt like it let me be in control. And as a hitter, they had less control. Unless obviously one tried to call time. Then that could be a little bit frustrating as a pitcher.
There's the walk by Keeney. And it's 2 on, 2 out here for the Red Hawks.
Keeney asking if it was outside. And it just missed about half a ball out. And Seattle working themselves now with a runner in scoring position.
Huge opportunity for the Red Hawks. Their best hitter, Ty Wilson, at the plate with 2 on, 2 out. It'd be the best opportunity the Red Hawks get. Swing and miss. You don't get many opportunities against teams like Oklahoma. When you do, you got to capitalize.
And Keeney knowing that and attacking her with her best stuff.
The 1-2 from Keeney. Foul back.
Ty Wilson showing she's getting more on time to that outside pitch. I'll be curious here if Keeney will look to work a different location. She's been pounding out, out, out. She mixes it high or inside.
Wilson battling here down in the count 1-2 against Keeney. And Keeney gets the corner. Strike 3 frozen, inning over. Wilson goes down on strikes. As Keeney works out of the jam. Gets the strikeout here, looking. We go to the bottom of the third. Sooners up 1. Look at that vantage point from center field here at Wrigley. On this beautiful Sunday morning. Here at the bottom of the third. Sooners up 1-0, top of the order. Coleman, Boone, and Brito. And that's 1-0. Pitch foul tip there. Madrigal so far holding the Sooners in check. Gave up the home run to Ludlam in the second inning.
And you heard a little bit of an ow from Coleman there. Looks like it not only hit her bat, but it also hit her arm. And Coleman is just one of 6 preseason All-Americans on this Sooner squad.
Coleman reaches for it, grounds to short. Morris is there, throws to first in time to retire Jada Coleman. 1 up, 1 down here in the home half of the third. There's Morris, who makes the play. The sister of Aubrey Monroe, who I'm sure is watching back in Naples, Florida. As that pitch is inside, Aubrey Monroe got to see him play in Orlando opening weekend of the season when Seattle opened in the UCF tournament. And we'll be following him all year long. It's Riley Boone at the plate, takes a strike, 1-1 the count.
As soon as you told me that fact, all I could think about is Morris's twin sister, the pitcher on the Seattle team, and Monroe catching her and helping her develop as a pitcher, because I feel like that has to happen in the household somewhere.
I had a chance to talk to Aubrey when they were in Orlando, just talking about the two of them, and she was excited because when she was in Naples, Florida, she got to catch Macy Miles, who's a player at UCF, who's the daughter of course, Les Miles, the legendary national champion head college football coach. So Aubrey got a chance to do a 2-for-1 there during her time. Of course, Aubrey Monroe, 2-time national champion catcher at Florida. Boone slices one to left, but playable as the catch is made in foul territory for the out. 2 gone as Wilson makes the play. And Madrigal so far, Sydney's doing a nice job keeping the Sooners off balance.
She has been, especially the second time through, and the tracking there by Wilson. When you're facing this Oklahoma team, every out is so crucial. You don't want to leave any outs on the field, and so far Seattle has been flawless with that.
Alyssa Brito takes a strike. Brito, the senior from California. That's outside for a ball. But I would imagine, Sydney, if you're Madrigal, this is a game when you found out you're getting the ball against Oklahoma. There's an excitement level. You're going against the best, right? And this is what it's all about.
Why you play the game.
Grounded to short. And Madrigal works a 1-2-3 third inning. Retiring the Sooners in order. We're to 1992. And as a U.S. representative for California, Bono is credited with a number of hit singles, including I Got You, Babe. And the beat goes on.
Wow.
Sydney's blown away.
I am bringing out all the stars. You know, I can't say I knew much of him. Cher, I definitely did, so that caught my attention. But you have stars on the strip and here on the ball field.
Mikey Morris at the plate. Takes a ball, 1-1 to count here. In the top of the 4th here, Sydney Suplé. I think if you would have asked Coach Harai in the Seattle, hey, would you be okay if you were only down 1 against the 3-time defending national champions in the top of the 4th? I think he would have taken it. Got to be pleased if you're Seattle the way you're playing right now.
You definitely do, and you see these hitters starting to make an adjustment. In the 3rd inning, we saw a lot more balls be put in play. But also this Oklahoma team in this tournament has been responding so well late in the game.
And Morris with a base hit to lead off the 4th. Mikey Morris with the single, and the Red Hawks get the leadoff runner on.
Morris just sending it back up the middle. And this Seattle team is all over anything low in the zone.
I can tell you right now, Sydney, Seattle's not at all of Oklahoma. They do not look intimidated. They do not look like a team that this stage is too big for them. They're playing with confidence right now.
Well, they pride themselves on their conference schedule and being able to challenge themselves. And you also have to remember, Seattle's only down the road from Washington, who's also a top 5 program in the country. So they're used to playing the big dogs. They understand that underdog mentality and how to not give a team across from you too much credit. You're always respectful, but you believe in your stuff.
Avison at the plate. Seattle arrived to the Plex here, to the stadium, in minivans. The 1-1 count. That's a strike. They're into this game. They play with a lot of energy here.
They definitely are. And it's funny you mentioned the minivans. I saw a few teams posting pictures where it almost seems like because it was Sunday, their team buses had to go back. And here was multiple teams traveling in divided minivans. It's something you don't normally.
Time. The payoff pitch. Then swings and misses as Keeney gets the strikeout. 1 gone here in the 4th.
Keeney, this is one of her best pitches. She's able to ladder out. And the way she's able to slice that with her right hand with enough tail going off to the right. So not only is it dropping, but it's also falling out the table to the right.
Taylor Fitch now at the plate, fouls it off. Fitch singled in her first at bat, hitting here with 1 on, 1 out. Again, Fitch fouls it off.
You'll notice when Keeney steps on the mound, that Litterin behind the plate has a red stripe across her chest. That is something that Oklahoma's team has really embodied these last 2 seasons. Each stripe and color has a different meaning. It sends a signal to the pitcher's brain and helps them concentrate in the circle.
Fitch down in the count, 0-2 here against Keeney. The 0-2, Fitch reaches for it and drops a base hit into right field. Morris is the third. The ball gets away. She's going to try to score at home, and she's down at home plate. The Sooners defense makes a big play to preserve the lead.
Going down to get that 0-2 pitch. And Seattle was aggressive on the bases earlier, got him in trouble. And then once again, the runner from first will go all the way home. And a big play. She is out, but not really much of a path for her to slide into. Almost wonder if that could have been an obstruction as well by the catcher.
Well, my question there, Cindy, do you think Morris went on her own, or did Coach Harai send her on the throw by Boone? Not sure what if there was a missed signal or if that was an aggressive approach.
Based off the way that Coach Harai responded after she was at home plate, made me feel like she made this decision all on her own. You see right there, she tries to split the catcher, but the tag coming before she can get a hand on that plate.
Because that would have made it 1st and 3rd, 1 out, if you hold Morris at third. But then again, when you're as significant as an underdog as Seattle is, sometimes maybe you go for the juggler.
I'm all for pushing the envelope, especially when you talk about the probabilities in this game. But Seattle, they're swinging a nice bat. It's not like you're seeing strikeout after strikeout. They're putting the ball in play. So I would rather take my chances on 1st and 3rd than putting the ball in Oklahoma's hand, who has shown they can put together good relays.
Nicola Simpson, the former Vol, fouled it off. Keep in mind, Morris is a freshman. Easy to say that from the booth, right? But you've been a player. You know that sometimes that anxiety, the excitement, the emotions when you're playing a team like Oklahoma, maybe sometimes you tend to try to do too much, perhaps. But again, give credit to Oklahoma for executing the play. Ludlam made a nice tag there at catcher.
And this response in an at-bat by Simpson, she is just spoiling pitches. It can be really easy to just fall down and give up after that play we just saw, now having 2 outs with a runner on only first base. But she is battling, and that's just putting more and more arm circles on Keeney.
Nicola Simpson, a two-way player. Of course, played at Tennessee, now back home in Seattle. Drops one into center. Oh, what a catch! Jada Coleman robbing Simpson of a hit to end the inning. What a play! Top 12 and under player. Sign up and try out for the USA All-American Games. Bottom of the 4th. In what has been an exciting game, Oklahoma perhaps a surprise to some in the college softball world, seeing the Sooners only up 1 against the Red Hawks of Seattle, who have been in this game from pitch 1, had a couple of opportunities to tie the game up. And it's been the Sooners defense with Jada Coleman preserving the lead. Here's Jennings to lead it off for the Sooners. against Madrigal.
What a weekend Tiara Jennings has had. She's now second all-time in RBIs, passing the great Lauren Chamberlain with 255. Those are some crazy numbers.
Pretty good. She's up to 260 for her career. Hit her 5th home run of the season in the victory over San Diego State. She had 4 RBIs in that game. Only behind the great Jocelyn Allo. Jennings hits a high fly ball to center. Coming in is Falkenberger making the catch. And Jennings retired for the first out. And Sydney Supley right now, I think a lot of people that maybe are checking in on this game and checking the score might be surprised at the score being only 1-0. But credit to Madrigal. She has been fantastic so far for the Redhawks.
She has been so crafty and intentional in hitting her spots. And you'll notice she has not plated a ball yet. Everywhere the side she is throwing to, she tends to hit the corner or miss half a ball towards that corner. And that's what you have to do against these Oklahoma hitters.
Riley Ludlam, who's the difference in the game right now, takes a ball. It was Ludlam who hit a solo homer in the 2nd inning. That's been the only offense to this point in this ball game. The 2-0. Ludlam hits it to right. It'll go foul.
Do you remember from her first at bat that she took that low and outside pitch?
And that's been the scoring in the game. The 2-1, the top high 3-1 the count. Madrigal. It was high. That's a walk to Ludlam, who's now reached base. As a home run and a walk.
You could tell Madrigal went 2 back-to-back rise balls for the first time this game. She wanted to be very intentional how she was pitching that batter, but now she'll have 2 freshmen in the lineup. And even though they're first years, they have come on so strong these last 2 weekends. Been a big part of this lineup. And Oklahoma always does such a great job of putting underclassmen in positions just to grow throughout their career.
Ella Parker takes outside for a ball. Madrigal on the pitch. He's in there for a strike, and Madrigal has done a great job of hitting her spots, finding her location, trying to keep this explosive Oklahoma offense in check. That ball is hit to deep center. That ball is gone. It's a 2-run homer for the freshman, Ella Parker. And just like that, the Sooners offense awakens. It takes a 3-0 lead on the 2-run homer by Parker.
And the freshman's so strong already. Both of those home runs comes on low pitches that they absolutely golfed. And this is where the walk comes back to bite you. It could have been a solo home run. Now it's a 2-run homer, and you're down 3.
A 3-0 lead for the Sooners on a 2-run homer from Parker. Now Madrigal back to work. That wasn't a bad pitch at all from Madrigal. Just tip your cap to Parker.
No, but Oklahoma's a team that they will hit home runs on pitches that aren't just strikes. out of the zone, up, out, and down. I think one of my favorite videos came out last season, and it was a compilation of all of Oklahoma's home runs. And I swear 60% of them were balls that were at least half a ball, if not an entire ball, outside of the zone, that they still have so much strength and power to lift it over the fence.
Cassidy Pickering at the plate. A hit in the count, 2-1. That's fouled off. So as a pitcher, Sydney, how do you pitch to a team like Oklahoma that can hit not only in the strike zone, but they can hit the ball out of the strike zone? That's a tough dilemma from a pitcher standpoint.
That's where you have to really maximize and focus in on changing the eye level and off speed. You understand this Oklahoma team is going to put the bat on ball, but how can you force weak outs? An easy ground ball, a rollover, a weak pop-up. That's what you're looking for, is pitching to effective contact.
Pickering gets a base hit into left field. And the Sooners offense now perhaps starting to awaken after the two-run homer by Parker.
See right there, so patient in her approach, just able to take her time on that outside pitch. You have to let that ball get deeper with it being so outside. She does exactly that.
You got the Morris sisters. Of course, now Aubrey Monroe saw them in Orlando. Going to follow him later in the season. As first pitch is in there, outside for a ball. But Morris getting an opportunity here against Sydney Sanders in the bottom of the fourth, 1 on, 1 out. And that one hit Sanders. So Sanders gets on a hit by pitch, and it's 2 on, 1 out here in the fourth. As you look at the pitch there, Sanders right by the elbow. Avery Morris now in this opportunity. That pitch is a ball, 1-0 the counts. Torres, who is 0 for 1 at the plate. Hannah Core is the pinch runner at second base. And that pitch is away for a ball.
Let's go for it.
Of course, Patty Gasso's talked about the second base position. They've played many different players. Torres hits a high fly ball to left, but playable in foul territory as the catch is made. Tagging from second to third is Core, and she's in there. Both Sooner runners advance. It's second and third with 1 out. Look at the Sooner base runners, how quick they tag quickly. That's a pretty good throw by Wilson at third, but the runner got in there. Now Jada Coleman at the top of the order. Jada Coleman had that incredible defensive catch earlier in the game, hitting here with runners at second and third. Morris delivers to Coleman. It's a low for a ball. Big spot here for Morris, Sydney, going against Jada Coleman.
And this is one way you're going to learn as a freshman in this big moment right here. Do you step up and elevate your game to face one of the best hitters in the country, Jada Coleman? You know, you also want to be selective on where you're placing it. I love the challenge pitch there by Morris.
Coleman's had an impact defensively. He's been quiet so far with her bat. You're in a big spot, second and third. Coleman hits a high pop-up, foul territory, and out of play towards the right side.
I would say it's not only her, but the top 4 hitters in Oklahoma. They've been quiet so far this game. You can tell Seattle really put together a smart game plan against them. And the damage that's been done has been 5 through 9.
Coleman gives a drive to left, but playable, as the center fielder makes the catch to end the threat. Sooners get 2 runs as Ella Parker, the freshman from California, gets this pitch and delivers. A deep 2-run homer to give the 3-time defending national champions a 3-run lead going to the 5th. Carly Keeney back to work here. Top of the 5th. Sooners with a 3-0 lead. Lily Garcia to lead it off. Here for the Redhawks against Keeney. First pitch fouled off. 0-1 the count. Cindy Supley, what have you seen from Carly Keeney here so far in this ballgame, who quietly here has been tremendous while the Oklahoma Bats have been slow to get going? She's held the Redhawks here scoreless with some help from her defense.
You've seen her give up a few hits, but she has just been so tough when they've been able to get people on base. And that's the sign of a good pitcher, is when you can really elevate your pitching when runners are on base or even in scoring position. But for Keeney, it's her east to west movement that's really keeping her effective against the Seattle hitters.
Slice foul.
And you'll see Keeney, she'll work a lot of curveballs. So you'll have balls that will stay on the same plane. They won't move up or down vertically, but they'll move left to right, which is something you're seeing her do a lot. And she's attacking primarily these Seattle hitters on the outside corner, whether it is a lefty or a righty. That's to take away their power and force what she hopes to be weaker hits.
That ball is popped up in left field and out of play. And pitch count remains 1-2. Of course, Keeney, part of this Oklahoma staff. You got Kelly Maxwell, of course, coming over from Oklahoma State, who closed out the victory against Mississippi State and beating Wisconsin. We had Kirsten Deal pitch the shutout against San Diego State. As you see that red tape right there with Ludlam.
You know, the tape red today, which for a pitcher, it gives her more of an aggressive mindset, which is what Keeney must need in this moment. But yesterday, we saw blue, and that tends to bring on more of a calming presence for a pitcher. Oklahoma is so intentional about creating an environment for whatever pitcher is on the mound to be one that they can really be successful in. We saw them start that last year with Jordy Ball, who went on to be MVP of the Women's College World Series, and it's something they've implemented now for all of their pitchers.
Keeney, as Garcia fouls it off. Well, you mentioned Jordy Ball. Of course, that's the big storyline at Oklahoma. With Jordy Ball moving on to Nebraska. Look at the staff. How would it look? You got Maxwell, as I mentioned, the transfer from Oklahoma State. You got Kirsten Deal in her second year, who pitched the shutout in the victory over San Diego State on Saturday. As Keeney gets Garcia to pop up to right. The catch is made by Boone for the first out. Of course, Nicole May returned. Peyton Monticelli, a transfer from Wisconsin, and Keeney, the transfer from Liberty.
And while this Oklahoma team is returning a lot of similar faces, see another effective pitch. And just that movement causing these Seattle hitters to be just underneath it. But while they're returning a lot of players, their staff is very different than you've seen last season and the seasons before. They have 6 pitchers on staff. 3 of them, as you mentioned, Eric, are transfers. So they're having to learn each other and what works well quickly.
Well, 1-0 is fouled off, and Patty Gasso has said in her talking to the media, they want to develop these 6 pitchers. There's Deal, who was fantastic in the win against San Diego State. I talked to the Oklahoma radio voice, Chris Plank, before the season, and we both agreed Deal could be the wild card in this staff. She was one of the top players coming out of high school, could be the future of this staff. But Patty Gasso believes the future is now, and she feels that if they can have these 6 arms, S.J. Guerin, who redshirted last year, that's going to be a challenge for opponents to face them, and figures they're going to need the 6 pitchers in a deeper Big 12 this year, and as they want to make a run at a 4th straight national title. It's a ground ball to short. Jennings to first in time to get the out. 2 up, 2 down.
We've talked about a lot of pitchers on their staff, but the one that I want to pay love to is Nicole May. And she is the one consistent face that through every single one of their championships has been there. And she's just a pitcher who I feel like is underlooked a lot, not necessarily this season, but in prior years. And she's somebody who has allowed them to get so many of their wins and put other pitchers in a situation to throw in that national championship game because she won the games leading up to it.
Missouri, they've got tremendous arms with Crandall and Binford, who is fantastic, and Orm. You got Oklahoma State, Lexi Kilfoyle, who beat Florida earlier this week, as you see Nicole May right there. You got Texas, who's off to a fantastic start. Well, you and I got to see them in Clearwater last week. This might be Mike White's best team. You've got teams like UCF, Sidney Ball Malone, with a lot of the veteran players that are part of that super regional team. So the Sooners in their final year of the Big 12 figure to be tested more than they Monticelli in this ball game. There's Sophia Kissling is the pinch hitter, the freshman out of California. Getting an opportunity to hit here against Monticelli. And that's low for a ball. Of course, mentioning Oklahoma in the Big 12 slate. Baylor, who was the last team to beat them. Oklahoma will host Baylor. They'll go to Texas, to Austin, to play the Longhorns in a 3-game series there in Big 12. There's a swing and a miss. Their last Big 12 series on the road as a member of the Big 12 in the regular season will be in Orlando against UCF the week before Bedlam. Here's the last pitch.
You fired me up. Monticelli coming in and throwing a strike. A little love for the Wisconsin native. Actually grew up knowing Monticelli. She's a few years younger than me, going through Wisconsin high school ball. And then obviously she was at Wisconsin last season when I was at Northwestern, so played against her in the Big Ten. And she's only elevated her craft since she has came to Oklahoma.
And just missed inside for a ball.
Attacking the strike zone. The drop ball that's just a little bit high, not enough to get the call.
A lot of Sooner fans making the umpires voice hearing their displeasure on that last pitch. And in fact, they just counted, that's ball 4. And I was wondering that, looking at the count, I figured it was a 3-2 count. And it is a walk. Sure, if the umpire lost track of the count there momentarily. But nonetheless, Kissling gets on. It's a 1 on 2 out. Pitch is low. Cindy, I'm going to have to start calling you Miss Wisconsin. I feel like you know everybody that's from Wisconsin. We were talking the other day about Chloe Evans, the UCF outfielder whose family's from Wisconsin. You know everybody.
You have to, you have to support your home state. And for Wisconsin, there's not many of us who come out of there and are playing Division I. So that's why we all kind of stick together, champion one another. We want to see that become more prevalent with years to come. And I think you're starting to see the tides turn a little bit and more players get developed throughout the state.
2-0 is blooped, but right to Jennings. He makes the catch to retire the tie. We head to the bottom of the 5th. The Sooners up 3. Okay, play PGF. Of course, we've had many players from the PGF, an All-American game, this week playing here in this tournament. There's a number of the Sooner players in particular, as Avery Morris gets to work here at the bottom of the 5th, facing Riley Boone here in the 5th. And Boone gets a base hit off the fence in right field. That's a standing double for Riley Boone to open the Sooners' 5th inning.
I mean, such a spark plug. She takes that outside pitch. The second time we've seen Oklahoma do that. With so much strength to be able to pull that ball across the field. That is the first well-hit ball that we have seen off of Morris so far, who is so effective when coming in, getting her team out of a jam in the 4th.
Alyssa Brito at the plate takes a ball. One thing to keep in mind, Sydney, as this tournament, Oklahoma, as games have gone on, have pulled away from their opponents late in games, starting around the 5th inning and beyond. Case in point, the San Diego State game yesterday, as Brito drops a base hit into right. Boone will come in and score, and it's an RBI single by Alyssa Brito, and just like that, Oklahoma extends their lead to 4-0.
And this is the difference between the two teams. When you have a well-hit ball to the outfield, it's how quickly can you get it in. The right fielder, she fields it cleanly, but the speed of Boone and just the strength in an arm, Oklahoma is safe or Seattle was thrown out. Sometimes that little part of the game is such a difference maker, and how effective and quickly can you get in a relay from the outfield to home plate.
Tiari Jennings now at the plate. Runner at first and nobody out. Sooners up 4. Morris on the 1-0. It's a strike. And as I mentioned, Oklahoma, you look at the San Diego State game, it was 2-0, and then Jennings hit a two-run homer, and the Sooners started to pull away and won 7-0. Similar against Mississippi State.
They're able
Wonder if you're Seattle here, if you're on the ropes.
You very well could be, and it's because of the emotional maturity that this team has. They're not frustrated with themselves if they don't get it their first, second at bats. They just constantly are working to make adjustments, and it's what allows them to thrive at the bottom half of a game. And if you're Seattle, you're just trying to eliminate the damage, stop the bleeding.
Jennings takes a strike. Jennings grounded out to third in the first, flew out in the 4th inning. Hitting here with Brito at first base. Jennings pulls it to third. Here's a throw to second, not in time. Everybody's safe. And the Sooners have 2 on and nobody out, as Walling tried to get the force at second, but Brito beat it out.
Big decision right there to not go for the out, and Brito with the hustle. She's fired up. She knew that was going to be a bang-bang play, and it started with a good jump off the bag at first. But anytime, like I said earlier, you cannot leave out on the field against this Oklahoma lineup.
Ludlam at the plate, homered back in the second inning and has walked. And Walling there thought she had a better chance to get Brito at second than Jennings at first. Didn't work out for her. Ludlam fouls it off.
What you typically see from this Oklahoma team is if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. That's why, as an opponent, you want to be so crisp and clean. When you force a hitter like Tara Jennings for a ground ball, you want to get the sure out.
Ball and a strike to count. Of course, the Sooners, they make you play maybe a little faster than you would like sometimes, because they put pressure on you constantly. That's high, 2-1.
You take a look at Ludlam's stance as she gets back into the box. She has a very tall approach. Now on her step, she'll start to sink more into her leg.
Well, she got jammed and pops that one up to left, and the catch is made for the out as Ty Wilson makes the play. So Ludlam retired for the first time today.
I'm very
pitch there by
impressed.
Morris. They need to get the out.
She has been nothing but impressive.
Now Parker, who hit a 2-run homer in her last at-bat, gave the Sooners a 3-0 lead. The freshman from Los Angeles. Fouls that pitch off. And Sydney, no matter what happens here the rest of the way, if you're Seattle, there's a lot of positives from this game that you could take if you're Seattle. That certainly has got to give you confidence moving forward, especially when you get into the WAC conference. The way they've represented themselves here today. As Parker hits that to deep right, and it's gone. A 3-run homer by Ella Parker. Her second of the day has broken this open as the Sooners now lead 7-0. Sooners are now lead 7-0 here in the fifth. New pitcher for Seattle in Berkeley Vance.
And that's what Patty Gasso does, is she finds these gems in players who are ready to compete from their first year. And you see that in Parker. She is ready for her moment.
Outside for a ball. Of course, the Sooners up 7 here in the fifth inning. Core, who pinch ran earlier, getting a chance to hit. He's ahead 2-0, gets jammed, pops it foul. And of course, should the Sooners score another run in this inning, this game would end. Remember, got the run rule where a team is up 8 runs or more after 5 innings when the trailing team has had 5 official at-bats in the innings. Game would be over. But Sydney, just like we've seen this tournament, Oklahoma pulling away from their opponents late in the games. You know, the teams are matching with them for 3 to 4 innings, but then Oklahoma turns it up a second gear late in games.
And that's what makes them so good, is their ability to fight late and keep that focus, but also it's their adjustments at bat to at bat. You saw the top half of the lineup, they didn't really get going till their third time through. And again, it's not getting upset by it, it's just learning. And that's what this Oklahoma team is so good at, that growth mindset. They call it the championship mindset. It's really what's allowed them to be so successful. The big walk right there coming into a game. Hannah Core not trying to do too much. It's important to note that this lineup, too, they don't have some of their normal starters like Kinsey Hansen, and that just shows how deep they are to bring players off the bench who are ready to compete right when they step on the field.
Sanders now to hit with 1 on, 1 out. Sanders gets jammed, pops it up, and the catch is made by the catcher, by the Fora, for the out. Of course, reminder, leading softball brands, Eastern and Rawlings, have all new Ghost Advance and Mantra Plus bats. And do you want to increase your bat speed, reduce tension, and take your game to the next level? The Airwave Performance Mouthpiece delivers these benefits and more. Check out the Airwave. You see right there. Great insight.
Earlier in this game, Eric, we looked at the home run leaderboards, and Oklahoma wasn't on it, but after the 3 this game, they're starting to inch their way up. I think they were feeling a little left out on the list.
No doubt, 3 homers in this ball game. Lilio, the pinch hitter, number 43, getting a chance to hit here. With a runner on and 2 out. That runner at first would represent the game-winning run. Let's see Lilio. Coach Patty Gasso and the Sooners trying to get as many players some playing time. Of course, they got another game after this. The 1-0. Inside, 2-0. Oklahoma will take on LMU after this. There's the 2-0. In there for a strike, it's 2-1.
That's a nice pitch by Vance. Probably my favorite one she's thrown so far. You can tell she has confidence in throwing it. She has to remember, not only is she coming into this game, but so are these pinch hitters. So trust your stuff.
Foul that pitch back.
Look at this Oklahoma team behind her. I mean, they're all up against the fence. That's what I love. When a pinch hitter comes in, you can feel the presence from every other person in their dugout wanting her to do well.
That pitch was high. Cindy, I just want to confirm that plane we just saw taking off, that's not your flight, is it?
No worries. I did not miss my flight.
Okay, very good.
I've cut a few close, but never missed one. So hopefully I didn't just jinx my perfect record there.
Let us know later. Payoff pitch. That is popped up, foul territory, out of play. Of course, today's the last day. Collegiate Classic. The grand finale coming up later, Tennessee and UCLA. That'll be a game that's going to air on tape delay on MLB Network at 10 Eastern. Our friends Corey Brooks and Nicole Mendez will have the call of that one. I'm sure Nicole Mendez watching this game pretty close as she gets ready for her next game. There's a swing and a miss. A strikeout to end the inning. Oklahoma's the only one not losing. As you see the rest of the top 20 rankings, Florida State, Stanford, I mentioned, pick up that win. Missouri lost late last night dramatically to Baylor. It's going to be interesting how the rankings look come this week with all the results coming in.
And only Oklahoma, they're the guaranteed one who's not going to move. But for the rest of them, you've seen UCLA. They had 3 big wins, and then they dropped one yesterday to Baylor, who they're a team that is going to really move up in the rankings. Like you said, Eric, it's going to be so interesting, and I am not jealous of the committee right now who has to go through this weekend of so many ranked games and readjust where this lineup will be.
Of course, you saw Mississippi State there. They lost last night to Fresno State in an upset, and that's one of the unique things about the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic is some of the upsets and teams making a statement. You saw that from Cal State Fullerton the last couple of years, and then this week in particular beating Tennessee. LMU's had a good tournament. It's fascinating, and statements to be made. Monticelli ahead 0-2. Here at the top of the 6th inning, facing Brooklyn Jones, the sophomore from Washington. Here in the 6th inning. Sooners looking for their 66th straight win. What goes a swing and a miss and a strikeout to start the 6th inning for Monticelli.
Monticelli, after working heavy drop, comes back upstairs with that rise ball. Very sharp, and she is known for her passion. You can see the energy she brings on the field after that strikeout. Nothing but smiles. You have to love when a pitcher comes in with that much fire to close this game.
Mikey Morris now at the plate. Morris grounded out in the first, singled in the 4th.
You know, earlier, Eric, you mentioned that Nicole Mendez, you wonder if she's watching. Well, I can confirm she definitely is. We have one of Oklahoma Sooners national champions on our very own broadcasting team this weekend. It's been fun listening to her insights. She'll be on later today. Monticelli really whipping the ball there. I love that shot that we just had.
Oh, 2 the count. Yeah, you and Mendez have gotten along this week. Kind of hit it off.
We definitely have. Actually, I got to meet her for the first time when she came on my podcast a few months ago.
Wow.
I was also getting into the running space, and she just ran her first marathon after playing professional softball. So that speaks to the athlete that she is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a hard time competing with you for podcast guest here. I mean, I finally got you to agree to come on my podcast later tonight on In the Circle. There you go.
Hey, you know, make a great tag team. We'll keep it going off the air.
There's a swing and a miss. And a strikeout, 2 down here in the 6th.
Monticelli has been so sharp since she has stepped into this game, that time with the drop ball. And to be able to work both levels and the firing up continues. She is locked in. And she is one of those pitchers who hasn't had a ton of opportunities, but she has made the most in the innings that she has. That will only lead Coach Gasso to trusting her in more and more situations, especially getting the swings and misses she is getting. And this Seattle team, in the beginning of this game, they were spoiling a lot, and now you're seeing so many more swings and misses with Monticelli in the circle.
Amanda Morris, the hitter. Just throwing strikes now, pounding the strike zone.
I love it. She said, you and me to the catcher. Exactly the mindset that you want to have as a pitcher.
Two fell back. Cindy, we've seen now all 6 Sooner pitchers in this tournament. What's your big takeaway from seeing the 6 Sooner pitchers? There's so many eyes watching Oklahoma, and how will their pitching staff look with not just Jordy Ball moving on to Nebraska, but remember Alex Duraco graduating, who's now also in the media doing radio shows in the local Norman, Oklahoma area. Many people wondered how this staff would look. So far, so good from these 6 arms that the Sooners have.
Without a doubt. And I think you see they all bring such a different approach and spins. And so they're going to be able to work very nicely together. And coming into it, you knew Maxwell and May were going to be successful just from how well they've done in the past. But pitchers like Monticelli and Gill last night elevated back with the strikeout there for Monticelli. I love it. What an inning for her.
At Wrigley, Sooners up 7. Looking for their 66th straight win, NCAA Division I record. That first pitch up and in, ball 1. 1-0 the count. As Oklahoma going to their bench here with a pinch hitter. Nia Bland. So Bland,
So this
freshman
is the
from Texas.
third straight pinch hitter for Oklahoma. So a great opportunity for them to allow hitters to get their at-bats in games. It's so different than a practice, and the only way to replicate them is really in these moments.
Bland ahead on the count against Berkeley Vance. Vance delivers that side. That's a great point you make, Sydney. You know, one of the reasons why these teams play 4, 5, 6 games in a tournament, obviously to get as many games in, try to get some marquee results, improve the resume, but give a chance to some of your young players like Bland some playing time to help them develop, because you might need them later this season, and you definitely might need them come next year and beyond.
You will, and I think that's something that Oklahoma has brought them so much success, is they develop their younger players, so when they have a big graduation turnover, even though they're starting for the first time as sophomores, juniors, or seniors, they come in so competitively ready. And that's just hats off to Coach Gasson. I'd say UCLA does the same thing, and that's why those are two premier programs year after year.
Riley Boone now at the plate. Boone walked in the first, flew out in the third, had a double in the fifth, and she is a broadcaster favorite, because you know when she's coming to the plate when the crowd starts to go with the Boone deal. So that's when you know, okay, in case you get lost in the lineup card, you know who's batting. Boone slaps it, come back there, the throw to first, not in time. Vintage Riley Boone, she beats it out, and the Sooners have 2 on, nobody out, with the winning run at second base.
And Boone, after the power earlier today, she lays down a slap. She beats it, the hustle on that long stride, almost has her tripping at the end of it. It was a well-fielded ball by the pitcher, but just the speed. And Boone, she's one of my favorite players, not because of the cheer, but for the way she competes on every single play, whether it's in the box or in the outfield. She just brings so much life to this Oklahoma team.
Alyssa Brito fouling the first pitch off. Brito off to an incredible start this year, quietly putting up big numbers for the senior from California. Hitting with 2 on, nobody out. That's outside for a ball. And again, if the Sooners score in this inning, this game will end via the run rule. And the team is up 8 runs or more after 5 innings or more.
One thing I want people to pay attention to is Brito's stance. And even when she's taking a pitch, how hard she will take it, setting her lower half ready to swing at any point.
She got jammed there, and there's a little grounded to first. And that's an out. But both Sooner runners advancing, with now Bland at third and Boone at second, and the winning run now at third base with just 1 out. It looks like the Sooners.
As a defense, you have to believe that they're crashing right now in this moment.
Avery Hodge is the pinch hitter, but you're right, Seattle has to cut this run off to keep this game going. There you see Bland at third. The 1-0 to Hodge. Inside, ball 2. Hodge, one of the many players, the sophomore from Texas, who's starting at second base. Part of the luxury, Coach Gasso likes the depth and the flexibility that she has in the middle of the infield. Moving Tiari Jennings to short, taking over for Grace Lyons, who's one of the greats at the shortstop position. The 2-0 to Hodge is a strike. It's 2-1. 2-1 pitch. Hodge tries to butt it to squeeze play. The throw home, not in time. Bland scores, and the Sooners win it 8-0 in 6 innings, extending their NCAA record to their 66th consecutive win, and improved to 13-0 on the year with an 8-0 win over a very gamed Seattle team. Although, hold on, the umpires are going to look at it. Let's take a look.
And she was saved by a mile, but the umpires will call this game back. Strike has been added. This is a big moment for Seattle to try to get your composure, find a way out of this inning now.
Hodge hits a fly ball to shallow left. The catch is made. Bland tags from third. The throw home, not in time. And now it's official. The Sooners win it 8-0 in 6 innings and extend their program and, of course, NCAA record 66th straight win and improve to 13-0 on the year.
Oklahoma says, you want us to win it twice? Well, we will do exactly that. And that's why they are so good, is they find so many different ways to win, whether it was small ball or having that base hit, that pop up when you need it. But it really started in the beginning of the game with their lockdown defense that allowed them to stay in it before their bats got hot. And man, did they get hot. Ella Parker, the freshman, with 2 home runs on the day.
Here's Ella
We're
Parker.
going to take another look at him. You can tell on the low pitch, she gets the home run, and then she comes back with just as much power on an elevated pitch as well. That's what makes her so tough, is she is hitting 2 balls, 2 very different pitches well over the fence. A lot to come for this freshman, and exciting to see with so much power and such a young player, and the Oklahoma staff is deep.
There's the Sooners huddling up with Seattle, who have nothing to be ashamed of. They played very well.